So last year I was talking to my mom and she said that she prefers Scooby-Doo mac and cheese, and I thought, that's weird. Not because it's for children, but because I never had it as a kid. Was she saving it for herself? But it turns out she meant this. This pasta shape is called Scooby-Doo. What? My whole life I thought there were like 5 pasta shapes, but the rabbit hole this fact sent me down begs to differ. So in this video, we're going to discover how many pasta shapes exist and why by making all of them.
Penne doesn't deserve to exist.
Where am I supposed to put all of my pasta facts? Thank you to Milanote for sponsoring a portion of this video, and to our patrons for supporting the channel. There have been over 1,300 pasta names. This was not difficult to find. It was like the first Google search result. However, that number is often oversimplified. A lot of people take it to mean that there are over 1,300 pasta shapes, but that isn't true. I found the original book where everybody cites this number. Basically, a lady went to Italy, interviewed a bunch of people, and noted a bunch of pasta names. But some names didn't have a known shape, some names were just variations on size, and some names were different for the same shape. Sir. With that in mind, there are about 140 to 300 pasta shapes around today, depending on what you count as distinct. However, that's still a lot of pasta shapes. Sir. Bread has like 3 shapes. Rice basically only has 1. So why does pasta go from orecchiette to spaghetti to Scooby-Doo? Which I've since learned is also called cavatappi, but that's less fun. I just wanna know why we need all of these pasta shapes. So I'm gonna ask someone I know who loves pasta. Why are there so many pasta shapes?
Did I not lock my door?
Hello, Melissa.
Hi.
How many pasta shapes can you name?
Maybe like 4. Rigatoni, bucatini.
You go off with the weirdest ones first!
Penne. I'm actually blanking. Macaroni, spaghetti, fettuccine, tagliatelle. Listen, I like the pasta shapes that I like and I stick with them.
I came to the wrong person here.
I do know a lot of pasta shapes actually. I am farfalle.
Bro, I can't even fact check her anymore.
Oh, there's ditalini. That's a really good one. You put that one in a little soup. Have you had the ones like with the little star-shaped ones? There's the pearl one. I don't know what else.
Couscous?
Not that one. Okay, wait, let me look in my cupboard. Hold on, I'll be honest, I only got beets.
How many pasta shapes do you think there are?
I'm gonna say like 20.
Hold up.
30 pasta shapes.
Can you read that sentence for me?
I identified more than 1,300 pasta names. 1,300 pasta.
Why?
Why are there so many pastas?
I think that there's a lot of different types of pasta because each pasta shape is meant for a different dish. They all feel different, like when you're cooking with them, it's different sauces.
You're telling me that I'm not supposed to just use penne in every dish?
Okay, but every pasta's just got a different mouthfeel. I don't like the word mouthfeel.
So you're telling me that there are 1,300 pasta shapes because of mouthfeel?
Yeah?
Prove it.
How? What do you want me to do?
You know.
Make
You
them
know it's in the content.
1,300 pasta.
Thank you. Have fun.
What if I don't make them? What if I don't do it? What is she gonna do?
All right. While Melissa is dealing with that, I have cleared out the local library's collection of pasta-related books, including this one, which is just a children's book. I ordered it online. Oops. Basically, I am just not convinced that the reason there are so many pasta shapes is because there are so many pasta dishes and sauces. Like, carbs are pretty versatile even if they don't have many shapes. I point again, have you met rice? I don't think you end up with 300 shapes because 300 dishes demand it. I think that there's another reason, and I'm hoping to find it in these books. I wonder how Melissa's doing.
If I had to choose one pasta shape to eat for the rest of my life, it would probably be bucatini, because it's perfect. So to start off my research, I wanted to get a better appreciation for other pasta shapes, but I accidentally ended up buying bucatini. Anyways, I got other ones. They were different sizes, textures, colors, and flavors. So I decided that the key things I needed to consider with all the pastas were what it was made of, how it was made, which shape it took on, and what it was usually served with. I looked through books, watched some videos on pasta shapes, and even listened to a podcast where someone invented their own pasta shape trying to improve bucatini, which is stupid because bucatini is perfect. And I recorded everything I found with the help of today's sponsor, Milanote. Milanote is a really cool tool to help you organize your creative projects. So you can collect things like notes, images, videos, links, and even to-do lists, all in one visual board. Whenever I take on any research or creative project, I usually find it kind of difficult to organize all of the thoughts in my head and like write them down in order on paper. I really like using Milanote because it helps me collect all of the thoughts that I have, put them on here, and organize them later in a way that makes the most sense and gives me the most flexibility. So I was able to store all of my links in one place and even my notes. I've got this video here, I've got this link from the FDA about different pasta shapes. But look at that, it pulls up the link right there. Did I have to leave Milanote? No, look how much I'm zooming out. And then you can zoom in and you're like, oh wait, I just need to focus on this one thing. There's this other cool feature that Milanote has. I'm gonna use their web clipper, share, Milanote, and then I wanna save it to my pasta Encyclopedia board. You go back to Milanote. What's that? Is that a new notification in the corner? Look at that, that's my link. I wanna put it right here. And I can just do that, I can just go, now it's there. That all happened within maybe 2 seconds on screen. In real life, it literally took 5 seconds. 2 things I love about Milanote. One, the web clipper feature that I just showed you to get this bigoli on screen. The second thing that I love about Milanote is that you can draw directly on here. There was this one pasta that I couldn't find a picture for online because some of them are so obscure. I have the reference in this book and I just drew it. It helps me visualize the thing that I need to make. Is it the prettiest drawing? No, but it does the job. I'm very happy that Milanote decided to sponsor this video because it has helped organizing all of these pasta shapes. And I've even used this outside of this video. I've started organizing my parties in here, dinner recipes, family recipes. I get all the organizational benefits of using a digital space to organize my notes. And I still get the feeling of doing research, writing in my notebook by being able to, you know, draw stuff and draw little doodles and draw little notes. I really recommend Milanote, and the best part is you can sign up for free. No time limit, free 99. Free. Just sign up using the link in the description and get started on your next creative project. Now that I've looked at hundreds, literally hundreds, there's 300 pastas in this one book. Sabrina had me thinking there were 1,300. There's only 300 in this book. And I'm just gonna say it. A lot of them look the exact same. Linguine and fettuccine, or rotini and fusili. Get this, the US Food and Drug Administration might say that a macaroni is, hold on, tube-shaped and more than 0.11 inches, but not more than 0.27 inches in diameter. But if I show you that a macaroni is more than 0.27 inches in diameter, are you gonna tell me that's not a macaroni? Which is why I'm not gonna be making 1,300 pastas, or 300 for that matter, because there's such small variances in these pasta shapes. So I've selected 50 pasta shapes to make. I'll admit, some of these pasta shapes are factory made. I just have my 2 hands and a rolling pin and a knife. And we're gonna try to make the factory made pasta shapes as close to their factory shapeness as I possibly can. Is that a little delusional? Yes. And before you ask, I will not be making penne, because penne doesn't deserve to exist. And I stand by it. So I got started making my reasonable number of pasta shapes. I don't know why people bothered inventing more than these 50 shapes.
I know why there's so many pasta. I apologize for the intensity. This actually turned out to be interesting, and it's a pleasant surprise. I should start off with the fact that pasta wasn't originally called pasta. It could have been etria, lagana, macaroni, vermicelli, all depending on the time and region. However, we eventually settled on the word pasta, in part because no matter the noodle, it all begins with a paste, the dough. So where did the dough come from? Well, it starts in Italy, or the region, because Italy wasn't technically a thing until the 1800s. Like a lot of pre-industrial Europe, grain was really important in the region, and due to unique climates, low-gluten grain usually grew in the north, while high-gluten grain was in the south. The interesting thing is that this difference matches up with the 2 main types of pasta that emerged. In the north, the low-gluten flour was mixed with egg, increasing the protein content and binding the dough together. This tender dough formed fresh pasta's simple shapes to complement delicate sauces. In the south, the high-gluten flour was only hydrated with water to form a strong yet inelastic dough.
Inside the dough. Stop running away. inside the dough.
This firmer dough could be sculpted and dried into more complex shapes that held their own against chunkier sauces with that al dente chew. Now here's the thing, we don't really know if these doughs and their resulting pastas share a common origin story. In fact, strong regionalism in unconsolidated Italy and a diverse set of cultural influences makes a good case for just convergent invention. A bunch of people in a bunch of places may have just invented pasta around the same time. But regardless of their origins, shaping these doughs was originally seen as women's work. And like usual, women got creative. While there were practical choices based off how different shapes and ingredients interacted with sauces and cooking methods, many pasta shapes were functionally art. They were inspired by the world around them or just self-expression with limited resources. This mix of regionalism, functionality, and creativity is likely why there are so many pasta shapes. And yeah, that does mean that practicality plays a role, but it's also really cool to know how important identity and imagination are to so many pasta shapes. I didn't expect this, I should have because it happens every video, but I have this newfound appreciation for this stupid thing. I was like in a library reading about this, tearing up, just thinking about how women who wanted to feed their families had this dough in front of them, and instead of making the most practical shape that like fit with the sauces, they were like, wouldn't this be cute? Wouldn't this be nice? I like this. It feels so human! I really come to appreciate why there are so many pasta shapes. It's like asking, why are there so many paintings? That aside, I'm also furious! Because now I know that we've got hundreds of pasta shapes with interesting stories and craftsmanship and love and creativity, and we're stocking penne on the shelves? I just want to know why we decided to popularize these select few shapes. I guess I just gotta keep reading.
I finished making all of the pasta shapes. We've got the semolina flour, dough, got all of the tagliatelles, not the tagliatelles, I'm calling it that because that's truly what they all are. My flat egg ribbon noodle pastas, and then all of my stuffed pastas. I'm the most proud of these ones. Look at those. I also have a lot more than just these in my oven. This is not exactly 50 pasta shapes. I ended up making 32. Which is not bad. I did the best that I could using the tools that I had, which were just my hands and a rolling pin and a knife. Nothing like what those factories and big machines can do. This spaghetti-ish type of thing is as close to spaghetti as we will get. I think that there's certain type of pastas that you just need machinery for. I can't even show you my attempt at rigatoni. How do I make that with my hands? It is never going to look like this. The closest that I got to making something even remotely tubular was this thing. So I found a place in Toronto that makes lots of fresh pasta, handmade and with machines. So I DM'd them, emailed them, and eventually called them. And they said yes. This is Famiglia Baldassarre, and this is Leo, the owner. He let us follow him around on a busy morning while we asked him about how he chooses what pasta shapes to make.
In order to understand why we don't see doughy works of art in the grocery store, we need to rewind to how different climates in the Italian peninsula resulted in different types of dough. The northern region's egg and flour pasta had its strengths, but it was really fragile.
Yeah, look.
That is not what I expect a pasta dough to feel like.
We roll that out straight from there. We don't put this through a machine and crank pressure down on it. It just gets rolled out like this, and look, it's still soft. They're very fragile. Pasta is a very hard product to store and ship because it can break very easily, especially if it's frozen. If it's fresh, forget about it. You got about 6 hours before it's toast. It used to be that all pasta was this, which is fresh, hard to transport, hard to store, limited in its application in terms of how long you have to use it. There were no freezers, obviously. Stuff ferments and goes bad.
On the other hand, the southern region's water and flour pasta could be dried into a lightweight, shelf-stable product. This made it really easy to ship and feed sailors who were traveling the world.
It's dried and stable. You can put it in potato sacks and put it on the back of a horse or carriage and ship it to France. I mean, this was like crazy for the time.
The high demand for dried pasta encouraged automation, and the introduction of machinery in milling, shaping, and drying meant that more pasta was being made faster than ever before.
Faster is not even the word. If I were to make, he's making 40 kilos of this right now. If we were to make that by hand, I would have to play all of us for a couple of days. Machines are important. You're not gonna feed anybody if you're like Nah, I don't use a machine. You're not feeding anybody.
Now, this technology was fine-tuned in America thanks to the knowledge of Southern Italian immigrants who were searching for a better life. This, combined with plentiful American ingredients, formed a rich and comforting yet affordable cuisine that was essential during the Great Depression and continues to be to this day. However, the introduction of machines also greatly reduced the role of women and handmade pasta shapes in favor of shapes that machines could mass produce. This meant the loss of a lot of delicate and complex shapes, but introduced varieties that only a machine could make.
This is an extruder. You can picture, you know, your Play-Doh machine as a kid that you push down on the top and like some cool shapes come out the other end. That's what it is. What we have right now, this is the first part of the extrusion of what we call percatelli, aka bucatini. If you zoom in there right when he cuts, you can see the hole.
Not only can extruders quickly form interesting pasta shapes, they also impact the surface of the dough.
Because bronze is a kind of porous, soft metal, the edge, the surface that's making contact with the pasta is dragging, it's creating drag on that pasta that's exiting the machine. The result of which is this beautiful texture on the surface of the pasta. I don't know if you can see that. If you think about it, it's very strange because you need basically all the pasta to go in these separate holes and then unify on the inside and come together as one tube. It's actually quite complex.
Extrusion was also used to make actual Scooby-Doo pasta. You see those shapes? Here's another example. But not just that, it was also used to make Scooby-Doo pasta with the eye. That corkscrew shape was the result of a mismanufactured die, and it was originally named after a popular Italian musician. And then when it was brought to America, I guess it was named after a popular American dog. Nobody actually knows why it was called Scooby-Doo. If you know, email me. Besides extrusion, there are machines that can mimic some handmade shapes thanks to 2 Italian inventors in the 90s. This is their patent. I just wish we could see it in action.
Right now we're forming cavatappi pugliesi, which are these. What that machine is doing is this. If I take this and roll it out into a serpent, make little nuggets, which that machine is doing, and then when I take my thumb and roll my thumb over it, like that. So if I bring you here now, I catch one off the machine.
Look at that.
But not all machine-made pasta is made equal. In order to make the kind of pasta that I'm used to seeing, the one that's in a supermarket and it's like $2 for this ginormous bag that's gonna feed me for a month, that is a whole other beast.
Remember we were talking before about industrial processes of making extruded pastas by large scale companies? So they have massive dies that are about this big that are all vertically pressed, so from top down, and they have massive blades spinning on them, cutting your pastas. Those dies are often lined with Teflon to reduce drag so that things could be extruded at a much faster rate. And what happens is you get none of this. You won't see texture on it like that. They'll look a little translucent and yellow and very smooth. That's because of fast extrusion, fast drying, and Teflon coated dies. Whereas this is slow extrusion and bronze dies. And that's where you give you this effect here.
So that's why I only knew about a handful of pasta shapes. I'm cheap. I'd reach for the $2 bag of pasta I could find, which is fair, you know? Food is expensive. But it was unfair of me to think that was all pasta is now and has ever been. It's so much more. From a dough made of grain that was too tough for bread, it became a functional food for people with empty cupboards or going on long journeys. It became an art form and an escape for women who didn't have many other options. And it also became a delicacy that was so beloved by Thomas Jefferson that he tried to make his own pasta machine? I learned so many pasta facts in the making of this video. Mussolini started a propaganda war against pasta. Did you know that? It doesn't fit into this video though. Where am I supposed to put all of my pasta facts? Anyway, I think it's time for me to meet up with Melissa and see if she has learned anything else. Show me your pastas.
I made 33 pasta shapes. Okay, wait, I took the ones that look nice out of this pot already, but look how cute this one is. It's the top of a sun. I had my list of pastas, and then I just winged it for some of them, like.
She invented more pasta shapes. Can I make one? Can I invent a pasta shape?
Yeah, I have dough here. Okay.
I want to make a pasta pasta that looks like a little pizza.
I don't know why I'm being so weird.
What happens when you touch the pasta, you enter this different
It
mind
does.
place.
I feel like just touching pasta dough makes me feel like it's unleashing my inner child again. Could I also see that red sauce that you were talking about? No reason. Do you have a steamer? Has anyone steamed pasta?
I'm pretty sure that's a dumpling.
How many pastas do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
40!
40!
We have 40 pasta shapes.
If I cut all of these in half, that's a new pasta shape.
Copium.
This is the wormtail. There's 2 of each pasta shape, right?
They're called rat tails,
They're actually called code di topo.
which are rat tails. One each.
Yep.
Cheers! It is interesting how the little skinny bit sneaks into the back of your throat like a little alien, and then there's like pasta at the end. So it's actually very invasive.
Flavor good.
Flavor good.
Texture. It's called a rat tail for a reason. This one's called peachy.
Cheers.
Disgusting. I like how chewy it is though. You know, it's like,
I'm still chewing.
this one's called stracciatella, so it's a fat spaghetti and the ends get tapered.
Oh
it's like a little
god,
bit
it's like the worst things of the last 2 pastas we ate. It really does feel like a wet fish stick. Cheers!
This is farfalle
Or a bow tie.
or a bow tie.
Look at us, we look so smart. Cheers! It did look really similar to this pasta, which I think you bought from the store. I want to just compare it with the one that we just ate. Cheers! Controversial. Yours was better. You silly! More like you silly, bro. This is not what it looks like! Before we eat this, I want to show you a fusili that I have, which has, I think, might be the best sauce pairing possible.
Okay.
Because, like, it's better than all of these.
Wait,
Just give me a second.
You brought a sauce?
Cheetos! Mac and cheese! Cheesy ketchup flavor!
On my pasta! You need to pay me to eat this. Who's they? You.
More like our Patreons. Support us on Patreon. And I'm gonna force Melissa to eat this.
This is tagliatelle. This does not look very cute, but I promise you when I rolled it out, it looked better than this.
Cheers.
This one's pappardelle.
Cheers!
This is a lasagna noodle.
What if I make it like a little taco?
Oh yeah!
I'm actually so excited about this. This looks incredible. Cheers. Ah, shit. What the hell is this?
Rigatoni! This is my second favorite.
Cheers. Some of these pastas are too big for my mouth. Vesuvio, bro. This one's called Vesuvio, because I know how to read. Cheers. It's one of those pasta shapes where I'm like, oh, I get it. This is designed to interact with something else.
This one's called a ladita.
Cheers. Okay.
This one's orchetti. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of this shape at all. This one is called macaroni alla pecorara.
Cheers.
Calamorata.
Cheers.
These ones are called longitas.
Cheers. No.
It's called corsetti. Usually this is stamped with like a really intricate pattern on top.
This seems promising to me. It's like a little taco again. Cheers. Never mind, let's try. This is literally just a plate of
I'm
chickpeas.
sure there's a name for this. I just don't know what it is.
Cheers.
There's no official name for this, but I'm calling it a Cheerio.
Maybe the hole will make it less just dense in the middle.
Not sure about that one.
Oh. Cheers. The hole did change
That made
things.
a huge
Whoa!
difference. This is cavatappi. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is orzo. I don't
Cheers.
think it needs sauce.
What are these?
Leftovers.
I'm gonna call it a mini wheat. Cheers.
This is squidink linguine.
Cheers.
This is a tortellini.
Cheers. I've liked tortellinis before. This one would not qualify.
Now ravioli. Cheers.
Cheers. What's it called?
Ravioli.
Is this just a plate of raviolis that you're calling different pasta shapes?
So stuffed pasta. There's ravioli, agnolotti, and tortellini. Those are like the main shapes, like the main big shapes, and like they kind of change. If you like fold them in half, if you fold them into a triangle.
This isn't you lying to yourself.
No, this is actually different pasta shapes.
Cheers. There it is. Oh!
That one's good.
I think that we have eaten every pasta except 2. Bucatini.
Oh yeah.
And my masterpiece. I want to see if my pasta shape can dethrone your favorite pasta shape. Bucatini first.
How's your bucatini?
It's just so difficult to wrangle. It's like genuinely delicious, but there's just like so much going on. Here's what my pizza pasta can offer you. The crust gives you the thick chewiness that you would get from a bucatini. It gives you the stuffed-esque quality of a ravioli. And it's really funny to look at. Cheers. Oh my god.
That's good.
That was so good.
I'm really surprised.
Oh my god. Which one do you prefer more?
Not gonna lie. I'm gonna need you to come over again to make that.
Let's go.
Just like a perfect ratio of pasta to sauce to filling, textural, mouthfeel, chewiness, some thinness.
Oh god. So, Melissa, how many pasta shapes did you come across in your process?
At least 300, because that was just the book, and then there was more outside of the book.
When I learned that fact, I was always thinking, that's like the upper limit. There's no way there's more pasta shapes than that.
Yeah,
But there are.
because I just keep making them.
Because I made one. Melissa tried to make some. And I'm certain there are people out there who are making their own pasta shapes every day.
Yeah, like Leo, he made his own custom die so that he could make a new shape. That's better to him and to some than the original. That's fun. It's like a really creative, it's an art form, you know? And just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
2,000 pasta shapes by the end of 2023.
I will not be making them.
I didn't take my lactose pills, so this has been a nightmare. Goodbye.